In a city fueled by secrets and flashing spotlights, one viral clip just detonated everything Atlanta believed about its own royalty. Late last night, an anonymous drop hit social media. Grainy footage. No caption, no timestamp, yet the face is way too familiar. Within minutes, the internet went nuclear. Tiny Harris, wife of rap mogul T.I. and a man whose voice in shadows screamed Kanye West. Fans froze. Blogs erupted and hashtags spread faster than gossip at a salon. Hashtag Tiny Tape. Hashtag Kanye Connection. Hashtag AtlantaSecrets.hoax. Trap. Or the juiciest scandal hip-hop scene in a decade. Sources whisper T.I.'s gone silent. Tiny's team is barricaded and Kanye's camp is shouting denials. Still, the footage won't die, each frame birthing fresh chaos. Who filmed it? Who dropped it? And really, why now? Tonight, we peel back the drama shaking Atlanta's elite, where loyalty, fame, and betrayal are throwing hands in one viral hurricane that just won't quit. The clip spread like wildfire through a city addicted to flames. By sunrise, everyone had seen it or swore they had. Phones buzzed nonstop in salons and studios as gossip hosts dissected every second like it was court evidence. In a city built on rhythm and rumor, silence suddenly screamed the loudest. Tiny Harris's name wasn't trending, it was blazing. Inside her mansion, curtains stayed drawn tight. The air felt heavy, the walls closing in. Her phone glowed nonstop, notifications flashing like paparazzi bulbs. For years, she'd been untouchable, the queen beside a legend wrapped in class and control. But that image, it was shattering in real time. One share, one repost at a time, her assistant leaned in, whispering, "Should I kill your socials?" Tiny didn't even blink. "You can't shut off the internet," she rasped, her voice shredded from a sleepless night. On mute, the TV blared chaos as talking heads speculated about everything from motives to marketing schemes. One genius even claimed the leak was a promo stunt. Tiny almost laughed. Emphasis on almost. Meanwhile, across town, Shakina Anderson sat bathed in the cold glow of her phone, guilt heavy on her face. Weeks ago, she'd gone live, hinting that Tiny wasn't as squeaky clean as she looked, but she never signed up for this circus. She'd wanted to clear her own name, not light her best friend on fire. Now the internet had turned her confession into a crime scene. Her comments were a war zone, half calling her a hero, half calling her a back. "I didn't leak it," she whispered, hands trembling. "I didn't." But online, truth is slow and villains trend faster. And then came Kanye West's grand re-entry. Gossip blogs lit up like Vegas signs. Kanye West entangled in Atlanta scandal. His team shot back denials faster than TMZ could refresh, but that only threw gasoline on the gossip. Every blurry frame, every echoing voice, every pixel became proof for someone's conspiracy. "That's 100% his voice," one tweet screamed. Others analyzed lighting angles like they were on CSI, Instagram. The deeper people dug, the less they found. And that, my friends, was the real hook. Confusion isn't a glitch, it's the business model. By mid-morning, drones swarmed above Tiny Harris's gated mansion like vultures chasing clicks. Outside, a breathless local reporter clutched her mic. The Harris home remains silent while the internet demands answers. What's real? What's fake? Stay tuned. Cars slowed, fans craned necks, desperate for a glimpse of the woman now turned global headline. Inside, Tiny sat sunk into her couch, scrolling through old photos, concerts, family moments, smiles that suddenly looked like lies. Each picture carried fresh poison, comments, accusations, pity disguised as curiosity. She paused on one of her and Shakina arms wrapped tight, laughing like the world was kind. "You said you loved me," she whispered. A tear fell, wiped fast. Tears were weakness, and weakness wasn't on brand. Then her phone rang again, the publicist. "We need to respond. A statement, a clip, something." Silence screams guilt. Tiny sighed, voice flat. "If I talk, they'll twist it. If I stay quiet, they'll bury me." Dead silence. Then the publicist muttered, "Then we fight back carefully." Right then, a new post dropped from the chaos engine known as @TruthInAtlanta, the same account behind the first leak. The caption read, "If you thought the footage was wild, wait till you hear the audio." Boom, internet meltdown. Part 2. Screenshots everywhere, everyone foaming audio. What audio? Tiny's team caught it instantly. Her lawyer called, voice tight. "We're dealing with criminals. This is a setup." But Tiny wasn't hearing him. She just stared at her reflection in the black tablet screen, wondering when she'd stopped recognizing the woman in charge. Meanwhile, the city pulsed with rumors. Hackers, jealous friends, label payback, take your pick. Radio hosts laughed nervously. Podcasters teased exclusive insider tea. The line between gossip and destruction had officially vanished, and Atlanta couldn't look away. By evening, I finally cracked his silence. Well, kind of. He dropped a cryptic Instagram post. Don't believe every storm you see brewing. Some clouds just look loud. Instantly, fans lost their minds, decoding every word like it was hip-hop scripture. Was he defending Tiny? Denying the tape? Throwing shade at Kanye? The mystery only fueled the madness. Back home, Tiny killed the TV outside. Sirens wailed and engines hummed, but to her the world sounded distant, like static behind her panic. A text from upstairs flashed. "Mom, are you okay?" She stared at it, fingers trembling, then typed, "I'm fine, baby. Go to sleep." But she wasn't fine. She was unraveling. Across the city, Shakina refreshed her feed and froze. A new post teased the audio. Her stomach sank. "No, no, no," she whispered. She'd opened Pandora's box, and now something darker had climbed out. Should she call Tiny? Apologize? Too late. The internet had already written their ending. As midnight crept in, the web turned into a live countdown. Streams went up. Thumbnails screamed exclusive leak. And everyone sat waiting for the next digital explosion. Tiny stared at her screens, watching her own destruction unfold in real time. Somewhere else, a shadowed hand clicked upload on a small audio file. Then, boom. Notifications hit like a gunshot. Phones lit up, hearts raced, and the internet roared back to life. The file was barely 30 seconds long, but that didn't matter. In scandal culture, 30 seconds is a lifetime. The clip opened with soft laughter, familiar, haunting. Then a man's voice, deep and silky, murmured something about keeping things quiet. Static swallowed the rest, but fans didn't need facts. They filled the blanks with outrage and fantasy. Hashtags exploded again. By sunrise, Tiny Harris wasn't just trending. She was global headline #1. Inside the mansion, Tiny Harris sat frozen, that eerie laughter looping in her mind like a bad soundtrack. Her assistant stood nearby, phone trembling. Should I delete it?" she stammered. Tiny didn't move. Her face drained of color, eyes glued to the speaker as if the truth might crawl out of it. "That's not me," she whispered at last. "That's not my voice." But the internet had already played judge, jury, and executioner. Across town, Shakina Anderson's lights flicked on. She replayed the audio again and again, each loop squeezing her chest tighter. She knew Tiny's voice better than anyone. Laughter, tears, even rage. And this wasn't quite it. "AI," she muttered. "Someone's using AI." But nobody cared about logic. AI doesn't trend. Drama does. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A distorted male voice rasped, "You wanted truth. Now everyone has it." Click. Silence. Her skin crawled as she peered out the window. Nothing but cold city lights, staring back. Meanwhile, Kanye West's legal army charged onto the scene. Every outlet flashed the same crisp statement. "These recordings are fabricated. Legal action is underway." But damage control never goes viral. People only shared the clip, not the correction. They slowed it, remixed it, spun wild theories about secret whispers that never existed. The truth had officially become background noise by morning. Chaos owned the airwaves. Radio hosts looped the clip like it was billboard material. Podcasters crowned it the betrayal of the year. Old interviews resurfaced, every word twisted into proof. One channel even built a timeline of suspicious encounters between Tiny and Kanye, complete with ominous background music. None of it checked out, but who needs facts when outrage sells better? Inside the Harris home, T.I. paced like a ticking bomb, jaw clenched, phone in hand. "You know how bad this looks?" he growled, voice low and sharp. "You think I believe that garbage?" Tiny looked up slowly, eyes hollow, knowing that in this story, truth wasn't part of the script. Truth wasn't part of the script.
What could possibly detonate a 19-year marriage in just 5 weeks? According to Russell Crowe's alleged bombshell, that's when Nicole Kidman dropped her final warning after uncovering something serious, something that shattered the illusion beyond repair. The speed of it all is jaw-dropping. No slow fade, no public "we're working on it," no teary reconciliation tour, just done. From gushy anniversary posts to signed custody papers in barely a month. The math doesn't lie, something big went down behind closed doors. Keith Urban's life on tour is a non-stop blur. 200 days a year of concerts, flights, and hotel rooms. That lifestyle is a pressure cooker. Isolation, temptation, and the kind of fatigue that cracks even the strongest bows. Add in his old battles with addiction, and you've got someone walking a tightrope between fame and fallout. And that's where Russell Crowe's view hits hard. As someone who's lived under the same spotlight, he knows exactly how that life eats at trust. Sources close to him claim he saw the red flags early: Keith pulling away, going secretive, getting defensive whenever Nicole asked what was really happening on the road. Tiny fractures to outsiders, but to someone watching closely, they were flashing warning signs in neon. Those quiet, unspoken tensions didn't appear overnight, they built up for years, carving out a distance Nicole Kidman simply couldn't close. And if what Russell Crowe allegedly said is true, it finally explains why the warning came when it did and why the split happened so fast. It reveals a side of their marriage the public never glimpsed. Insiders insist the signs were right there, if you knew where to look. Keith Urban reportedly grew overly protective of his phone, defensive over harmless questions, and coldly detached at home. Yet in public, he turned into Mr. Romance, grand gestures, gushy posts, all hard eyes and perfect poses. Psychologists call that public overcompensation. The louder the love, the heavier the guilt. Remember that teary-offy tribute where Keith thanked Nicole for saving him? Some say it wasn't devotion, it was distraction, timed perfectly to cover up the growing private disconnect. And then there's Russell Crowe, Hollywood's no-filter truth teller, who usually honors the code of silence. Insiders claim he broke that rule for one reason: to stand up for Nicole. They say he saw her pain behind the press smiles, felt the weight she carried in private, and decided enough was enough. Nicole didn't just quit, he allegedly said. People close to Russell Crowe say she endured. She warned, and in the end, she walked away with dignity. If that's true, it rewrites everything we thought we knew. Suddenly, Nicole Kidman isn't the calm, graceful ex quietly moving on. She's the betrayed wife who fought to save her marriage until there was nothing left to save. And Keith Urban? He becomes the man whose own actions shattered the trust and intimacy they'd built. Russell's supposed comments aren't just juicy gossip, they paint the fuller picture of a love story crumbling behind the velvet ropes, far from the camera's glow. The speed of it all, from warning to custody papers in weeks, makes the emotional toll undeniable. This wasn't a slow, mutual drift. It was a breaking point ignored, a heart pushed past forgiveness, and a woman finally saying enough, if true. Russell's insight tears down the Hollywood illusion and exposes the raw heartbreak beneath the betrayal, the pride, the pain. It turns a polished fairy tale into something painfully real. By allegedly breaking his silence, Russell didn't just speak, he flipped the script. Nicole becomes the brave, wrong partner. Keith becomes the man who let it all fall apart. It's dramatic, tragic, and deeply human, a story Russell may have finally decided was too real to keep buried. Everything we thought we knew about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's split, the polished divorce, the lightning-fast timeline, the hush-hush custody deal now looks less like closure and more like cover. The world saw grace, poise, and mutual respect. But insiders whisper about warnings, emotional distance, and tense confrontations that never made the headlines. Still, let's be clear, none of this is officially confirmed. It's a patchwork of leaks, late-night whispers, and close sources spinning their version of events. So, yes, take it with a truckload of salt. Yet even as a rumor, it's irresistible. Whether Russell Crowe actually said it or not, the fact that so many believe he did says a lot about how fragile Hollywood fairy tales really are. The perfect marriages, the golden couples, the flawless red carpet smiles, they can all crack under the pressure no one sees. And it leaves us wondering, did Russell truly expose Keith's alleged affair? Or is this just another Tinseltown tale twisted through the gossip grinder? Either way, it forces fans to question every perfect love story the media sells us. So go ahead, drop your take in the comments, because if even a shred of this story is real, it doesn't just rewrite a marriage. It rewrites one of Hollywood's biggest illusions. The truth behind those smiles may be darker and far messier than anyone dared to imagine.